Hello viewers and subscribers of AGRICLIVE podcast.
This is AGRICLIVE.
Alright, you're welcome to AGRICLIVE podcast. I'm your host, Mr Odusote. This is the second episode, and we have right here with me the MD, CEO, Chairman of Ideal Livestock Feeds. He's an astute businessman. He's an animal scientist. He's a husband to one, a father to three, and to many more by proxy. Please welcome with me today, Mr. Gbenga Odusote.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You're welcome, sir. Okay, so let's get right into it. Sir, for many people in your time, in your dispensation, as we're growing up, we have quite a number, as we must know, that are into agriculture, that are into poultry business, that are into fishery business, that are into livestock businesses in general. For you, how were you able to catch a niche or to carve a niche for yourself? How were you able to identify a place in the value chain where you could properly fit in, sir?
I was motivated by the course I studied in school, in the university. I read Agric, Animal Science. I graduated from the University of Ibadan in 1988. So when I went to work, I was motivated to be in feed mill industry, and that is where I am today.
Excellent, sir. Okay, so I know, that you served in the agricultural service ministry. So would you say that was what propelled you into establishing your own business in the same livestock feeds?
Yes, I was posted to a feed mill while in service. It was there that I gained knowledge of feed milling, and I was able to produce for the Ministry of Agriculture there in Kotokpo, feed mill Kotokpo, where I served. I now gained the knowledge of feed milling from there, and that's why we established it in Shagamu in the first instance.
Okay, now one of the things that we face at this time, as youths, among many other things, is the fear to even try something new. So for you, I want you to give us from your own, experience, what was it like having a stable job in the civil service and earning your monthly salary? And then what was it like putting your legs into new waters, testing new grounds in talking about the business now? And was it a total or a complete transition from service into full-time business, or were you juggling the two at the same time? How were you able to overcome that fear to even try something new, and how were you able to establish it at that time?
I was able to establish it at that time because I was in service and I know how difficult the situation was there. So when I now set up this business, I was now seeing improvements as a result of my own personal efforts that I put into the business. I was able to see profit from it. I was able to make profit from it. That was the motivation.
Okay, sir. So, will you say the profits? I mean, I should mention profits now. Were you acting to the profitability in the business before you even dived into it? And then I would need you to answer, did you enter into it fully all at once, or were you juggling the two at the same time?
Initially, I was juggling the two at the same time. But when I now realized that profit was in this business, I now move into it fully. So I was able to move into it fully when I realized that there is profit in it.
Okay. So you've been in this business for more than 3 decades, and as at now, we know how skyrocketing the prices of commodities are. And personally, I can tell the amount of capital that is needed to even begin this kind of business at an even small scale. But as at 30 something years ago, what was the capital requirement or resources that you had to pull together, and how were you able to pull this together to begin?
I was able to put the initial, though initially it was tough then, because we had to be buying in bits, in small quantity. Not until recently that we were able to put large resources into it, that we are now buying in trailers. We initially started as a small scale farmer.
Okay. So, sir, would you like to share what was the beginning like at the early phase in terms of getting new customers, getting customers as a business, establishing a cash flow, and then just establishing a proper business operation? How difficult and what were the challenges, if you would like? What were some of the challenges you faced at the beginning phase, sir?
Initially, there was lack of finance, but we were able to pull through because we do not believe in taking loan. We do not want to take any loan, and we have not taken any loan so far. We initially started small by buying in bits, but we grow the capital gradually as time goes on.
So since you started the business, you have not
taken any
loan at all, sir? Okay, so how were you able to pull the resources together, sir? Because I would need it to be as practical as possible for every viewer out there. Was it through savings from your civil service job? Was it through maybe friends and family members? What exactly was?
It was through savings from the civil service job that I saved initially to start the business. As the business was growing, we were putting the resources back into the business, and thereby go to this stage of us now.
Wow. You are an animal scientist, sir. What role would you say knowledge played or plays in this sector of business that you are in?
Knowledge has played an important role in this business for me personally, because as at then, there was no one to formulate their formula for them. That's why I have an edge over other millers. That's where I have an edge over other millers, because I was formulating for them. I was writing formula for them. I was consulting for them. I was doing all things that they needed for them. My knowledge of animal science has played very important role in that regard.
Okay, sir. I mean, this is for everyone that we interview. This is always a key, question and a keynote. Knowledge, in whatever business it is that you are venturing in, is very key and is very important. I was going to ask, sir. Currently, I know that your business, Ideal Livestock Feeds, majors on the sales of the vital raw materials and ingredients and additives. And of course, I know that you, in the beginning stage, you were milling. I mean, probably that was your focus, if I'm right. So you were focused on milling and producing and mixing, as you said, formulating feed for your customers. So what necessitated the transition into the sales of these raw materials where you are no longer milling? What necessitated that transition to this part of the same business, and what triggered it basically, and how was the transition like?
The transition is we face a lot of challenges in the feed milling business. That's why we are now selling raw materials fully.
Okay.
We initially started with feed milling, and as time progresses, we diversify to sales of raw materials, sales of different. I will say my knowledge has improved on the sales of raw materials.
Okay. So, what kind of challenges did you face while you were milling that had you to cross over to selling raw materials in itself? I mean, if you would
We face
mind to share.
a lot of challenges. As far as light, NEPA is always a problem for us.
Okay.
We face a lot of challenges in that regard. Aside that, we also face a lot of challenges in raising finance to buy raw materials. We face a lot of challenges in that regard too.
Okay. I mean, your aspect of business, talking about milling, feed milling as a den, I know would require a lot of labor, a lot of work, a lot of grinding, a lot of mixing. And I mean, as at then, talking about 20 something and above years ago, where things were not particularly as industrialized, or the resources to, industrialize as you would like, is probably not in place. And then there would be need for manual labor and physical exercising, in this regard. How were you able to navigate that challenge?
We were able to navigate the challenge of labor. As time goes on, we diversified into sales of raw materials. We are selling raw materials and we see a lot of profits in it. That's the motivator that motivated us to be selling raw materials. Aside of the challenges of grinding raw materials, we now fully diversified into sales of raw materials.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Excellent. This business, livestock, feed raw materials, it can make and it can break. In fact, virtually all businesses. I mean, one can record a whole lot of profit and one can record a whole lot of loss in, just a moment. What will you say is that secret knowledge or an X factor or something that has distinguished your business and made it to stand the test of time for over these 3 decades, sir?
I will say purely knowledge, skill that I acquired along the business. Skill that I have acquired as I'm working in the Ministry of Agriculture. The degree I acquired along the line has been able to solve all those problems for us. We have been able to overcome the challenges of labor and all those things along the line. I will say prudency has helped us a lot, and consistency too. We have been able to be consistent. We have been able to sustain the business through the times past as a result of our being consistent and prudency. Prudency has been the major factor.
Okay, prudency, that's delayed gratification. It's not something we really want to hear, as youths. I mean, the first few millions we hit, one will look good, one will dress good, one will buy new things, but prudency, delayed gratification, that is really, really noteworthy indeed. Okay. So you've mentioned prudency, you've mentioned consistency. I was going to ask that what is that X factor that has helped you, to improve upon the business? Already, I believe you've really, answered or given us answers here and there. You've talked about knowledge, you've talked about consistency, you've talked about prudency, and many more. Okay. What would you say is the ideal people usually will talk about smart work. Some would talk about hard work. For you, sir, hard work, smart work, what is your choice?
I will say we had smart work too has been able to sustain us. We had work smartly. We are able to achieve all what we achieve as a result of us working smartly and being hardworking.
Okay, so the two have to go together, hard work and smart work. Okay. That's very good. That's very good. Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. Okay. So after many years in this business, what would you say is your advice? What advice would you give to a youth that is newly coming into this part of business, this livestock business? What advice will you give to someone just navigating, newly this business?
I will advise them to first of all get the knowledge. The knowledge, the skill that is important, is very vital. The knowledge of feed formulation, which I gained and which has helped me a lot in the business. The mere fact that I'm an animal scientist has helped me to boost the business beyond your imagination.
Does it give maybe some form of an extra form of confidence to customers when they know that they are relating with an animal scientist that knows about?
It gives confidence to customers that they know that they are dealing with an animal scientist.
Okay. So the kind of education you are looking at, is it a formal or an informal? Is it something that one can?
Both. Okay. Both formal and informal education.
Okay.
We help them to navigate the business through.
Okay. Business.
I will say they should just put in hard work and be consistent in their work. The hard work will sustain them and will be able to push them up to any length that they desire to go.
Excellent, sir. Okay, so finally, what is that one thing, if there is, that the Ogun State government could do to directly help, your business?
I will say I've not benefited anything from Ogun State government so far. Ogun State government can help us to be subsidizing the raw materials that we are selling, directly or indirectly. By reducing prices, by subsidizing the price of raw materials for us. I remember they have done it before. Past where they subsidized the price of maize. For us.
What year was that, sir?
About 10 years ago.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. This has been an interesting conversation. We are glad that you are here. We are glad that you are here to share indeed your knowledge and your wealth of resources with us. Okay. So we have a little token to appreciate this kind gesture. This is from AGRICLIVE. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you for staying still with us. I'm sure that you must have learned a thing or two from this episode. It is AGRICLIVE. We are proudly brought to you by Ideal Livestock Feeds. I remain your humble host, Mr Gbenga Odusote. Till next time, stay tuned.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.